Indian economy, simplified explanation. 1. Introduction to the Indian economy. India's size and population. India is the seventh largest country by area and second most populated country, 1.33 billion plus people. It is also the largest democracy in the world. Diversity and cultural heritage. India has many languages, traditions, and cultures. Its diversity helps it adapt to global changes easily. Economic growth and development. Since the 1990s liberalization, India opened its economy to foreign investment. Two types of development. Traditional sector, farming, advanced agriculture, handicrafts. Modern sector, industries, IT, professional services. 2. Fastest growing economy. As per CSO and IMF, India is the fastest growing major economy. Expected to be one of the top 3 economies in the next 10 to 15 years due to strong democracy, international partnerships. GDP growth rate. Nominal GDP growth, 2019-20, 12%. Previous year, 2018-19, 11.5%. Q1 2019-20, 5% growth at constant prices. Key points to remember. 7th largest country and second most populous. Diverse culture, economic flexibility. Liberalization 1990s, foreign investment welcomed. Traditional plus modern sectors contribute to the economy. Fastest growing economy, expected in top 3 by 2035. GDP growth 2019-20, SHA 12%. This summary makes it easier to understand India's economic environment. Let me know if you need further clarification. Nature of the Indian economy, simplified explanation. 1. Low per capita income. What it means, India's average income per person, per capita income, is very low compared to developed countries. Example, in 2000, India's per capita income was $460, while the USA's was 83 times higher. Key issue, unequal wealth distribution. A few people are rich, but many are poor. Leads to poverty, slows down India's economic growth. 2. High population density. What it means, India has a huge population, 1.32 billion people in 2011, now even higher. Only China has more people than India. Why is this a problem? High birth rate equals population explosion. To improve living standards, people need more income, but the economy struggles to keep up. More people, more poverty. 3. Dominance of the agricultural sector. What it means, most Indians work in agriculture instead of modern industries. Farming is important, but it keeps the economy underdeveloped. Example, in developed countries, more people work in IT, manufacturing, or services. In India, too many people depend on farming, limiting growth. 4. Low rate of capital formation. What it means, capital formation is how much money is saved and invested in the economy. In India, savings are low due to low per capita income and income inequality. Why is this bad? Less investment, fewer industries and jobs, slow economic growth. 5. Backward social and institutional framework. What it means, old traditions and customs stop businesses from growing. Many entrepreneurs face barriers due to social restrictions. Example, in some regions, women or certain communities don't get equal business opportunities, limiting economic progress. 6. Poor utilization of resources. What it means, India has lots of natural and human resources, but does not use them efficiently. Example, India has coal, minerals, and skilled workers, but industries don't use them properly. Result, wastage of resources, slower growth. Market imperfections. What it means, the Indian market is not efficient in production and resource distribution. Price fluctuations happen due to demand-supply gaps. Example, if food production drops, prices increase. Poor people suffer more. Key points to remember. India has low per capita income, poverty, and inequality. Huge population, hard to maintain good living standards. Too much dependence on farming. Less industrial growth. Low savings and investment. Slow economic development. Old traditions and customs block business growth. Resources are not fully utilized. Market issues cause price fluctuations and instability. This breakdown makes it easy to understand the nature of the Indian economy. Let me know if you need further explanation. Structure of the Indian economy, simplified explanation. India's economy is divided into three main sectors based on the type of activities they perform. 1. Primary sector, raw material production. What it means, this sector involves using natural resources directly for production. It was once the largest contributor to India's economy, but its share is declining. Examples. Agriculture. 60% of India's population works in farming, fishing, forestry, and timbering. Fishing, a big industry in coastal areas, grown 5x since independence. Mining, extracting minerals like coal, iron, petroleum, and diamonds. Key point, the primary sector provides raw materials for other sectors. 2. Secondary sector, manufacturing and construction. What it means, this sector converts raw materials into finished goods using machines and industries. 24% of India's economy comes from this sector. Examples, industry. Uses raw materials to make products like steel, textiles, and cars. Construction. Builds roads, bridges, buildings, and railways. Key point, the secondary sector adds value to raw materials and boosts industrial growth. 3. Tertiary sector, service industry. What it means, this sector does not produce goods but provides services to people and businesses. It is the fastest growing and most important sector in India. Examples, banking, provides financial services. Insurance, covers financial risks. Hospitality, hotels, tourism, and restaurants. Transport, railways, buses, airlines, etc. Key point, the tertiary sector supports economic growth by providing essential services. Key points to remember. Primary sector uses natural resources, agriculture, fishing, mining. Secondary sector manufactures goods, factories, construction. Tertiary sector provides services, banking, insurance, transport. Tertiary sector is the fastest growing in India. This breakdown makes it easy to remember the structure of the Indian economy. Let me know if you need more examples or clarifications. Claims and counterclaims on the Indian economy, simplified explanation. There are two sides to the discussion about India's economy. 1. Optimistic claims. India is growing fast. 2. Concerns about slowdown. Challenges in economic growth. 1. Optimistic claims. India's economy is growing. GDP growth. India's GDP growth rate was 12% in 2019-20. Startup boom. India has 4,750 plus tech startups, making it third largest in the world. Growing workforce. By 2020, India's labor force was expected to reach 160 to 170 million. Strong forex reserves. India had $393 billion in foreign exchange reserves in 2018. $6 trillion economy goal. India aims to reach $6 trillion GDP by 2027. Higher revenue. Government reforms like GST and demonetization boosted revenue collection. Renewable energy push. India aims to get 40% energy from non-fossil sources by 2030. Consumer growth. India is projected to become the second largest economy in purchasing power parity, PPP, by 2040. Key point. India's growth is supported by digitalization, globalization, and government reforms. Concerns. Economic slowdown. FMCG sector slowing down. Big brands like Hull, ITC, and Godrej have seen slower growth in recent years. People have less purchasing power, impacting sales. Corporate cost cutting. Companies are reducing hiring, freezing salaries, and laying off workers. New taxes on the rich are forcing businesses to rethink investments. Global economic challenges. Exports fell by 10% in a year due to US-China trade war and global recession fears. IMF reduced India's growth forecast due to weak domestic demand. Key point, challenges like low demand, job losses, and global trade issues are slowing down growth. Final takeaway. India has high growth potential but faces short-term economic challenges. Reforms, better credit access, and global stability can help sustain growth. Government policies need to balance growth and financial stability. This should help you easily remember both sides of the debate for your exam. Let me know if you need more examples or a deeper explanation. Understanding economic environment, simplified explanation. What is economic environment? The economic environment refers to external factors that affect how businesses operate in a country. These factors influence how wealth is created and distributed, demand and supply of goods and services, business profitability, and decision-making. Two key components of economic environment: economic policies, government rules on taxes, trade, investments, etc. Economic system, type of economy a country follows, capitalist, socialist, or mixed. Economic conditions, factors like income levels, job availability, and inflation. Example: if the economy is booming, people have more jobs and money, higher demand for goods, businesses grow. If the economy slows down, people spend less, lower demand, businesses struggle. 3. Demand, the most important factor. When people feel secure and earn well, they buy more, increasing demand. When people fear job loss or inflation, they spend less, reducing demand. Example: if petrol prices rise, transportation costs increase, consumers spend less on other goods, business profits decline. Types of economic systems. Different countries follow different economic models based on how businesses and governments interact. 1. Capitalist economy, free market. Businesses are privately owned. Demand and supply decide prices, little government control. Example: USA, UK. Communist economy, planned. Government controls everything. Businesses, production, prices. No private ownership. Example: North Korea, Cuba. Mixed economy. Combination of both systems, private businesses plus government control. Example: India, China. Key point: India follows a mixed economy. Private businesses thrive, but the government regulates critical sectors like railways, banking, and healthcare. Final takeaway: economic environment affects every business, from small shops to large corporations. Demand is the driving force. When people buy more, businesses grow. India's mixed economy balances private sector growth with government policies. Let me know if you need any clarifications. Understanding components of economic environment, simplified explanation. What is the economic environment? The economic environment refers to all external factors that affect how businesses operate and grow. These factors determine consumer purchasing power, how much people can buy; government policies, rules that impact businesses; international trade, exports, imports, and global regulations. 2 major components of economic environment. 1. Economic conditions. Refers to factors like income levels, employment rates, demand, and supply. Better economic conditions, more job opportunities, people have money to spend, businesses grow. Poor economic conditions, job losses, people spend less, businesses struggle. Example: during COVID-19, job losses increased and people spent less. Many businesses shut down. 2. Economic policies. These are government decisions that control the economy. 2 main types. Monetary policy, controlled by RBI, deals with interest rates, money supply, and inflation. Fiscal policy, controlled by the government, involves taxation, government spending, and budget. Example: if RBI reduces interest rates, loans become cheaper, businesses invest more, economy grows. Now 3. International economic environment. Businesses today don't operate only in one country. Foreign trade, import-export, is affected by global rules and organizations like WTO, World Trade Organization, regulates global trade. IMF, International Monetary Fund, helps countries with financial stability. World Bank provides loans to countries for development. Example: if India wants to export more goods, it must follow WTO trade rules. 4. Economic legislations. Governments create laws to protect businesses and consumers. These laws control unfair trade practices, taxes, and labor rights. Example: GST, Goods and Services Tax, is an economic legislation that simplified the tax system in India. 5. Economic system. Every country follows an economic system to manage resources. The economic system decides who owns businesses, who controls production, how are goods distributed. Types of economic systems. 1. Capitalist economy. Private businesses run the market, e.g., USA. Socialist economy. Government controls businesses, e.g., North Korea. 3. Mixed economy. Both private and government control, e.g., economic environment affects every business, from small shops to multinational companies. Government policies and global trade rules impact business decisions. India follows a mixed economy, balancing private business growth with government control. Let me know if you need any further simplification. Factors affecting business, simplified explanation. 1. What are economic factors? Economic factors are the key elements that impact business performance. These include demand, supply, pricing, employment, banking, and economic growth. Businesses must adapt to these factors to stay competitive. 2 major economic factors affecting business. 1. Demand and supply. Demand equals how much customers want a product. Supply is how much businesses can provide. They are interdependent. If demand increases, supply must increase. Example, if people suddenly want more electric vehicles, companies like Tata and Tesla must increase production to meet demand. 2. Marginal and total utility. Utility, the satisfaction a consumer gets from a product. Marginal utility. If a person keeps consuming the same product, their satisfaction reduces over time. Businesses must introduce new features products to keep customers interested. Example, a person enjoys eating their first pizza slice, but by the 4th slice, they don't feel as excited. That's why restaurants offer new flavors and combos. 3. Money and banking. Banks control the money flow in the economy. If banks lower interest rates, businesses and people borrow more, economy grows. If banks increase interest rates, borrowing reduces. Businesses may slow down. Example, when RBI lowers interest rates, businesses take loans to expand and people buy more houses. Economic growth and development. Economic growth, how much a country's income increases. Economic development equals how that income is used to improve roads, education, hospitals, etc. If both are high, businesses prosper because people have money to spend. Example, if India's GDP grows, more jobs are created, people earn more, and businesses get more customers. 5. Income and employment. If jobs increase, people earn more, they buy more products, business profits increase. If unemployment rises, people spend less, business profits decline. Example, when companies hire more workers, shopping malls and restaurants see higher footfall. 6. General price level. Prices of goods are decided based on raw materials, labor, transport costs, and production costs. If costs increase, businesses increase prices, sales may drop. If costs decrease, businesses lower prices, demand rises. Example, if petrol prices rise set, transportation costs increase, leading to higher prices for food and goods. 7. Trade cycles. Businesses go through 4 stages. Boom, economy grows, businesses make profits. Stability, sales are steady, no major growth or decline. Recession, sales drop, businesses struggle. Recovery, economy starts improving. Businesses must prepare for these ups and downs. Example, during COVID-19, many businesses faced a recession due to lockdowns. Post-pandemic, recovery began as markets reopened. Final takeaway. Businesses must understand and adapt to economic factors like demand, pricing, and employment. Government policies and banking rules affect business growth. Trade cycles impact businesses. They must plan for both good and bad times. Let me know if you need further clarifications. Impact of economic environment on business, simplified explanation. 1. What is the economic environment? The economic environment includes factors that affect businesses, like consumer income, spending habits, inflation, and unemployment. Businesses must analyze these factors to create effective strategies. Two major impacts of economic environment on business. Changing income. A consumer's ability to buy products depends on their income, savings, and debts. If incomes rise, people spend more and businesses grow. If incomes fall, people spend less and businesses struggle. Example: if a company like TCS offers high salaries to employees, those employees spend more on cars, gadgets, and travel, boosting business growth. But if unemployment rises, people spend less and businesses lose sales. 2. Changing consumer spending patterns. People spend money on basic needs like food, transport, and housing first. As income increases, spending on luxury items like vacations, branded clothes, and gadgets also rises. Companies must predict these trends to adjust their marketing strategies. Example: if a family's income rises, they spend less percentage of income on food, but more on entertainment and travel. Businesses that understand these trends can succeed, even in market ups and downs. Final takeaway: businesses must analyze income levels and spending habits to set prices and marketing strategies. Economic downturns or booms affect sales, so companies should plan for both good and bad times. Consumer behavior changes over time. Successful businesses adapt to these changes. Let me know if you need further clarifications. New Economic Policy 91 Simplified Explanation. Why was the new economic policy introduced? Before 1991, India faced serious economic problems, like high poverty, weak infrastructure, roads, electricity, water supply, low industrial production, factories were not producing enough goods, high government control, businesses couldn't grow freely. To solve these issues, India introduced economic reforms in 1991, known as the New Economic Policy, NE. 1. Government's role in economic policy. The government creates budgets, decides tax rates, and makes economic plans to improve the economy. Example: if the government lowers tax on businesses, more companies will open, creating jobs. 2. Factors influencing economic policy. Internal factors: political parties, their policies, and economic priorities. External factors: global organizations like the IMF and World Bank influence policies. Example: loans from IMF in 1991 forced India to open markets. 3. Major economic shift from protectionism to liberalization. Before 1991, India protected its industries by not allowing foreign companies to invest. After 1991, India opened doors to foreign investments, FDI, and portfolio investments, leading to more jobs, better infrastructure, increased competition and growth. Example: before 1991, Pepsi and Coca-Cola were not in India. After the NEP, they were allowed to enter, increasing competition and providing consumers with more choices. NEP 1991 changed India's economy by allowing foreign investments and reducing government control. Both political decisions and international institutions, IMF, World Bank, influence economic policy. India moved from a closed, protected economy to an open, competitive economy. Let me know if you need further clarifications. Major economic policies, simplified explanation. What are economic policies? Economic policies are rules and plans made by the government to control and improve the economy. These policies help in managing government income and expenses, regulating money supply, controlling foreign trade, developing industries and agriculture, ensuring job security and labor rights. Task 2. Types of economic policies. 1. Fiscal policy, government income and spending. Goal: increase government revenue and control spending while maintaining economic growth. How? By adjusting tax rates and government spending. Key objectives: maintain balance of payments, stabilize prices, ensure full employment, improve economic growth. Example: if the government lowers taxes, businesses have more money to invest, creating jobs. 2. Monetary policy. Money and banking system. Goal: control money flow in the economy by adjusting interest rates and credit availability. Managed by RBI, Reserve Bank of India. Key objectives: control inflation and money supply, ensure economic stability, support businesses and industries. Example, if inflation is high, RBI raises interest rates to reduce excess money in the economy. 3. Foreign trade policy. Import and export rules. Goal, improve international trade and balance payments. Managed by Ministry of Commerce, Directorate General of Foreign Trade. Key focus, increase exports, reduce trade deficits, promote global partnerships. Example, the government offers export incentives to companies like Tata and Infosys to sell products abroad. 4. Industrial policy, growth of factories and industries. Goal, promote industrial development by supporting different sectors. Key focus areas, encourage private and public sector industries, improve infrastructure, provide subsidies and incentives for businesses. Example, the government's Make in India policy encourages manufacturing in India. 5. Labor policy, worker rights and employment laws. Goal, ensure fair wages, good working conditions, and strong employer-employee relations. Managed by Indian Labour Conference. Key focus areas, protect workers' rights, reduce labor disputes, ensure social security and welfare. Example, minimum wage laws prevent workers from being underpaid. 6. Agricultural policy, farming and farmer support. Goal, improve farmers' income and boost agricultural production. Key focus areas, increase crop yield and quality, support farmer cooperatives, use natural resources efficiently. PM Kisan provides direct financial help to farmers in India. Key takeaways. Economic policies control spending, money supply, trade, industries, labor, and agriculture. RBI manages monetary policy while the government manages fiscal and trade policies. Policies like Make in India and PM Kisan help industries and farmers grow. Let me know if you need more explanations. Regulations of new economic policy, simplified explanation. 1. What are these regulations? The government introduced new rules and policies to liberalize the economy and promote industrial growth, foreign investment, and fair trade practices. These regulations cover industrial licensing, foreign investment in technology, public sector policy, monopoly control, MRTP Act. 2. Key regulations explained. 1. Industrial licensing, permission to start industries. Earlier, industries needed government permission, license to start. Now, licensing is relaxed to encourage private businesses. Example, earlier, if Tata wanted to start a new car factory, they needed government approval. Now they can do it more freely. 2. Foreign investment, allowing foreign companies to invest in India. Goal, attract international businesses to invest in India. New rule, foreign companies can invest up to 51% in priority industries. Example, companies like Google and Amazon can now invest and operate in India with fewer restrictions. 3. Foreign Technology Agreement, adopting new technology from abroad. Goal, help Indian companies access advanced global technology. New rule, Indian businesses can partner with foreign tech firms without excessive government approvals. Example, Maruti Suzuki partnered with Japan's Suzuki to bring better car technology to India. 4. Public sector policy. Role of government-owned companies. Earlier, government controlled major industries. Now, public sector companies will compete with private firms to improve efficiency. Example, Air India was fully government-owned, but later allowed private participation for better management. 5. MRTP Act. Control over monopoly and unfair practices. Goal, prevent large companies from controlling entire markets and harming consumers. New rule, government reduced strict controls, so industries could grow, but still prevent unfair practices. Example, if a company like Reliance tries to eliminate all competitors by unfair pricing, MRTP Act will prevent it. 3 key takeaways. Licensing rules relaxed to promote private businesses. Foreign investment and technology welcome to improve Indian industries. Public sector to compete with private firms for better growth. MRTP Act prevents monopolies but allows industrial expansion. Let me know if you need further clarification. New economic policy on business. The new economic policy, NEP of 1991, brought major changes to the Indian economy. It had both positive and negative effects on businesses and society. Let's understand them in simple terms. 1. Positive impacts of NEP. Better economic performance. India's economy grew significantly after the reforms. The average annual growth rate was 6.3% between 1992 to 2000, compared to slower growth in earlier decades. More jobs and higher salaries. Many private and multinational companies, MNCs, started operating in India. Foreign companies outsourced jobs to India, increasing employment. Wages and salaries improved, benefiting the middle class. More foreign exchange reserves. Earlier, India had very little foreign currency. It was difficult to get money for foreign travel or business. Now, foreign exchange is easily available, reducing black market activities. Forex reserves grew from $5.8 billion, 1990, to $315 billion, 2014. Access to advanced foreign technology. New technology entered India quickly. Example, mobile phones became common only after liberalization. Companies could use modern machinery, making production faster and cheaper. Reduction in poverty. Poverty levels dropped significantly after the reforms. In 1993-94, 36% of people were poor, but this reduced to 22% by 2011-12. Lower inflation rates. Prices of goods like TVs, ACs, and refrigerators either reduced or remained stable. Inflation, which was above 10% in 1990-93, dropped to less than 4% by 2000. Better performance after privatization. Many government-owned companies were sold to private owners. Example, Bharat Aluminium Company Limited. These companies became more efficient and modernized their operations. Stronger stock market regulations. Before NEP, stock markets were unregulated and full of scams. SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India, was introduced to protect small investors. Trading in shares became easy, transparent, and safe. Increase in foreign investments. FDI, foreign direct investment, increased from 408 crore 1991 to 16,946 million 2012-13. India became the third most preferred FDI destination after China and the USA. Higher tax revenue for the government. As businesses and industries grew, the government earned more tax money. Tax revenue increased from 9,358 crore 1980-81 to 4,078 crore 2012-13. More tax revenue allowed the government to invest in development programs. Negative impacts of NEP. Rising fiscal deficit. Despite efforts, the government failed to reduce fiscal deficit, excess spending over income. The main reason was high subsidies, excessive government spending, and increasing debt. Increase in unemployment. While jobs increased in services, employment in manufacturing and agriculture declined. Example, manufacturing jobs fell from 6.85 million 1998 to 6.62 million 2000. Rise of big business monopolies. Large business houses like Tata, Reliance, and Essar grew very fast, reducing competition. Example, Tata's assets grew from 85,310 million 1991 to 474,460 million 1999. Crisis in Agriculture and Public Distribution System, PDS. The public distribution system, PDS, which provided cheap food to the poor, became weaker. Many farmers faced low prices due to import liberalization, leading to farm suicides. Government spending on agriculture reduced, increasing rural unemployment. Other negative effects. Small-scale industries struggled to compete with big companies. Income inequality increased. Rich became richer. Poor remained poor. Infrastructure, roads, electricity was not developed fast enough. Conclusion. The new economic policy of 1991 helped India grow faster, modernize industries, and attract foreign investment. However, it also created unemployment, increased the power of big businesses, and weakened the agricultural sector. For exams, focus on key points, examples, and statistics to make your answers strong. Importance of economic policies, simple explanation. Economic policies are like rules and strategies that help a country grow and develop. They ensure economic stability, reduce poverty, and improve businesses. Let's break this down into simple terms. 1. Increased economic growth. What it means. Economic policies help the country grow faster by implementing plans and strategies for development. Example: if the government introduces a policy to support startups, more businesses will open, creating jobs and increasing national income. Key point: better policies, faster economic growth, higher income and living standards. 2. Removal of poverty and inequality. What it means. Economic policies reduce poverty and wealth gaps between rich and poor. Example: government programs like food subsidies, employment schemes, e.g. MGNREGA, and tax benefits for low-income groups help reduce poverty. Key point: good policies equals less poverty and fairer income distribution. Improved public sector efficiency. What it means. The government can use economic policies to improve public sector companies and make them profitable. Example: companies like BSNL and Air India can improve their efficiency if the government supports them with better management policies. Key point: well-planned policies, stronger public sector, better services for people. 4. Price stability. What it means. Policies control inflation, rise in prices, and ensure that prices remain stable. Example: if the government controls the money supply and sets fair tax rates, it prevents prices from rising too fast. Key point: stable prices, less burden on people, economy remains balanced. Improved balance of payments. What it means. A country should earn more from exports than it spends on imports. Economic policies help in increasing exports and reducing imports. Example: India encourages companies like Tata and Infosys to export IT services worldwide, bringing foreign money into the country. Key point: higher exports and foreign investments equals stronger economy. 6. Improved efficiency. What it means. Economic policies introduce modern management, better technology, and competition, making businesses more efficient. Example: with new automation technologies in factories, companies can produce more goods at a lower cost. Key point: efficient economy equals higher productivity and better global competitiveness. 7. Development of small-scale industries, SSIs. What it means. Small businesses are supported by government policies to grow and compete. Example: Mudra loans help small businesses get easy loans for starting or expanding their businesses. Key point: small businesses grow, more jobs, stronger economy. Quick summary, easy to remember. Better policies equals faster economic growth, reduce poverty and income inequality. Public sector becomes stronger and efficient. Prices remain stable, no extreme inflation, expo increase, foreign money flows in, more technology and competition, better efficiency. Small businesses get financial support. Would you like a mnemonic or a short trick to remember this for exams? Short trick to remember the importance of economic policies. Use the mnemonic G public. Each letter represents a key benefit of economic policies. G, growth, increased economic growth. P, poverty reduction, removal of poverty and inequality. U, upgraded public sector, better efficiency in government companies. B, balance of payments, more exports, less imports. L, low inflation, price stability. I, improved efficiency, better technology and competition. C, community support, growth of small-scale industries. Just remember, G public equals growth for the public. This will help you quickly recall all key points in your exam. Let me know if you need any other tricks. Economic reforms. Simple explanation. 1. What are economic reforms? Economic reforms are changes in government policies to improve the economy. India introduced economic reforms in 1991 to solve financial problems and boost development. 2. Why were reforms needed? India faced a balance of payment (BOP) crisis, low foreign currency reserves. The IMF and World Bank influenced India to change policies. The goal was to increase economic growth and attract foreign investments. 3. What changed after reforms? Liberalization. The government removed restrictions on businesses. Example, more private companies started. Privatization. Government-owned companies were sold to private owners for better efficiency. Example, Air India, BSNL. Globalization. India opened its market to foreign investments. Example, many MNCs like Amazon, Google, and Apple entered India. Key takeaways. 1991, India adopted economic reforms. Reasons: BOP crisis, low growth, and global pressure. Impact: more FDI, better business environment, and economic growth. Short trick to remember: LPG. L. Liberalization, less government control. Privatization, more private companies. G. Globalization, foreign investments and trade. Just remember, LPG fuels growth. Let me know if you need a more detailed breakdown. Objectives of economic reforms. Simple explanation. Economic reforms aim to improve financial and economic conditions in the country. Here's what they focus on. 1. Open market economy. Less government control, more competition. Example, private companies get more freedom to do business. 2. Better resource allocation. Ensure resources, money, land, labor, are used wisely. Example, more funds for education and healthcare, not just for big industries. Reduce inequality. Distribute wealth fairly so rich and poor get equal opportunities. Example, government policies to support small businesses and farmers. 4. Balance between sectors. Ensure all sectors, agriculture, industry, and services grow together. Example, not just IT sector, but also farming and manufacturing should develop. Improve public and corporate sector efficiency. Government and private companies should perform better. Example, banks giving faster loans, government services going digital. 6. Reduce poverty and unemployment. More jobs equals less poverty. Example, skill training programs for youth. 7. Reduce budget deficit. Increase government income and reduce unnecessary spending. Example, higher tax collection and less wastage in government projects. 8. Boost competitiveness and growth. Indian companies should be able to compete globally. Example, IT industry exports software worldwide. 9. Remove unnecessary government control. Industries should not face too many rules and restrictions. Example, faster approvals for new businesses. Make foreign investment easier. Attract more FDI, foreign direct investment. Example, Tesla and Apple investing in India. 1. Remove MRTP Act restrictions. MRTP Act controlled monopolies, big companies taking over everything. Reform made it easier for businesses to expand. Help loss-making public enterprises. Support struggling government-owned companies. Example, Air India was sold to Tata for better management. Short trick to remember: life growth. L. Liberalization, free market. I. Investment, foreign and domestic. F. Fair resource distribution. E. Efficiency improvement. G. Growth, global competitiveness. R. Reduce poverty and unemployment. O. Open economy. W. Wealth distribution. T. Trade and industrial freedom. H. Help struggling businesses. Just remember life growth to recall key objectives easily. Let me know if you need more clarity. First generation economic reforms, 1991 to 2000. Simple explanation. India introduced major economic reforms in 1991 to improve the economy by reducing government control, attracting investments, and increasing competition. These reforms were focused on privatization, globalization, and liberalization. 1. Fiscal reforms, tax and government spending. Goal: reduce government spending and increase revenue. Key changes: simplified tax system, max tax rate reduced from 50% to 30%, custom duty reduced from 250% to 10%, excise duty cut on various products, subsidies reduced to control expenses. Government started selling shares of public companies. Example, earlier, India had very high taxes, making businesses suffer. After reforms, companies paid lower taxes, increasing profits and economic growth. Financial and monetary reforms, banking and money. Goal: improve banking system and financial markets. Key changes: SLR reduced from 38.5% to 25%, and CRR from 12 to 5%. Banks could lend more. Bank rate cut to 6 cents, cheaper loans for businesses. Banks got freedom to decide their own interest rates. Banks could hire employees freely without government interference. Example, Earlier, banks needed government permission for many decisions. Now they had more control, making banking faster and more efficient. Trade and investment reforms, foreign trade. Goal: open Indian markets for global trade and investment. Key changes: import restrictions and high tariffs removed. Foreign companies allowed to invest in India. Licensing rules simplified. Example: Infosys founders had to visit Delhi 9 times to get a PC imported before reforms. After reforms, such bureaucratic hurdles were removed. For industrial reforms, factories and businesses. Goal: make industries more competitive and market-driven. Key changes: privatization of public sector companies. Less government control over industries. Example: earlier, industries were controlled by the government, slowing growth. After reforms, private businesses could grow faster. 5 labor reforms, workers and employment. Goal: improve work conditions and balance labor rights with business needs. Key changes: labor unions lost excessive power. Court rulings favored productivity over unions. Firing employees still difficult. Firms with 100+ employees need government approval. Example: earlier, labor strikes were common, harming businesses. After reforms, strikes decreased and work productivity increased. 6 privatization reforms, selling government companies. Goal: reduce government control in industries like banking, railways, and mining. Key changes: loss-making public companies privatized. Government companies got more autonomy. Some firms were shut down to reduce losses. Example: a fertilizer factory in Haldia, West Bengal, kept paying thousands of employees without production. After reforms, such inefficiencies were addressed. Short trick to remember: FITLIP. F. Fiscal reforms, tax and spending. I. Industrial reforms, factories and businesses. T. Trade and investment reforms, foreign trade. L. Labor reforms, workers and employment. I. International reforms, globalization. Privatization reforms, selling gov companies. Remember FITLIP for a quick recall in exams. Second generation economic reforms, 2000 to 2001, simple explanation. The first generation of economic reforms, 1991 to 2000, helped improve India's economy, but they were not enough. The government realized that deeper and more complex changes were needed, so in 2001, the second generation reforms were launched. These reforms required strong political willpower and aimed at making the Indian economy more competitive, modern, and market-driven. 1. Factor market reforms, price control removal. Problem: government controlled the prices of important goods like petroleum, sugar, fertilizers, and medicines. This made companies less profitable and reduced production. Solution: the government started removing price controls, allowing the market to decide prices. Example: earlier, petrol prices were fixed by the government. Now they change based on global oil prices. Public sector reforms, more freedom for government companies. Problem: government-owned companies had too many restrictions and were not making enough profit. Solution: gave companies more decision-making power, allowed them to raise money from the stock market, encouraged foreign tie-ups, and privatization, disinvestment. Example: Air India was fully controlled by the government earlier. After reforms, privatization was introduced and later Tata Group took over. 3. Government and public institution reforms. Problem: the government had too much control over businesses and industries. Solution: changed its role from controller to facilitator, making policies to support businesses instead of controlling them. Example: earlier, to start a new business, you needed multiple licenses from the government. After reforms, the process became easier and faster. Legal sector reforms. Problem: many old and outdated laws were slowing down economic progress. Solution: introduced new laws and updated old ones. Labor laws were modified to make hiring and firing easier. Company laws were updated to support business growth. Cyber laws were introduced for online transactions. Example: before reforms, e-commerce businesses had no legal protection. Now, cyber laws ensure online business security. 5 reforms in critical areas: infrastructure, agriculture, education, and healthcare. Goal: improve India's roads, power, irrigation, farming, healthcare, and education. Solution: more investment in highways and railways. Corporate farming to make agriculture more efficient. Increased spending on schools and hospitals. Encouraging research and development in farming. Example: before reforms, farmers depended on the monsoon. After reforms, irrigation and modern techniques helped increase crop production. 6. State government's role in reforms. Before, the central government made all economic reform decisions. After, state governments were given more power to implement reforms in their regions. Example: states like Gujarat and Tamil Nadu attracted foreign companies by offering tax benefits and better infrastructure. Fiscal consolidation, better budget management. Problem: government spending was too high, leading to huge budget deficits. Solution: the FRBM Act 2003 was introduced to control government debt and spending. States also followed strict financial rules to reduce overspending. Example: earlier, the government would take huge loans and struggle to repay. After reforms, spending was controlled, making the economy more stable. More tax collection for states. Before, the central government collected most taxes and gave less money to states. After, states got a bigger share of tax revenue, allowing them to develop their own infrastructure and social programs. Example: in 2007-08, some states had extra tax revenue for the first time because of these reforms. 9. More focus on social sectors, healthcare and education. Before, education and healthcare were underfunded. After, the government increased budgets and focused on improving public services. Example: the government launched Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan (SSA) to ensure free education for all children. Short trick to remember: flip GST. F. Factor market reforms, price control removal. L. Legal reforms, modernizing laws. I. Infrastructure and critical areas, roads, agriculture, education, healthcare. Public sector reforms, more freedom for gov companies. G. Second generation economic reforms, 2002-2007. Simple explanation. By 2002, India had already gone through the first and second generation reforms. However, the government realized that economic growth was not reaching rural areas and the poor. The third generation reforms, 2002-2007, focused on inclusive growth, meaning that everyone, especially people in villages, should benefit from economic reforms. Strengthening Panchayati Raj, local government. Problem: economic growth was mainly helping cities, while villages were still struggling with poverty, lack of jobs, and poor infrastructure. Solution: the government decided to empower Panchayati Raj institutions PIRs, which are the local governing bodies in villages. Example: funds were directly given to village panchayats for building roads, schools, and healthcare centers. Focus on inclusive growth. What is inclusive growth? Ensuring that all sections of society, rich, poor, urban, rural, benefit from economic reforms. Why was it needed? In the 1990s, India's economy grew fast, but only cities benefited while many villages remained poor. Government realization: growth without inclusion is incomplete. Example: before reforms, government projects were decided in Delhi and state capitals. Villages had no say in development. After reforms, local leaders and village councils could plan and use funds for their own development. The 11th Plan supported these reforms. The 11th Five-Year Plan 2007-2012 officially supported third-generation reforms. Even though the ruling government changed, all political parties agreed that India needed inclusive development. 4. All generations of reforms are ongoing. Important fact: the third-generation reforms did not replace the first and second-generation reforms. Instead, all 3 reforms continue to happen together to achieve overall economic growth. Short trick to remember: Panchayati Raj empowerment, local government strengthening. Reaching the grassroots, economic growth for villages and rural areas. Inclusive growth, ensuring everyone benefits. Remember PI for quick recall in exams. Make in India, simple explanation. Launched September 2014 by Prime Minister. Goal, transform India into a global manufacturing hub and boost economic growth. Why was Make in India launched? By 2013, India's economy was struggling, lowest growth in a decade. India was called one of the fragile 5 countries facing financial risks. Foreign investors were losing confidence in India. There was a fear that India's huge population could become a burden rather than an asset. Solution: Make in India was introduced to attract investment, create jobs, and strengthen industries. More than just a slogan, a major reform. Before, the government acted as a regulator, creating rules that slowed down businesses. After, the government became a business partner, helping industries grow. Focused on reducing bureaucracy, fewer approvals, faster clearances. Encouraged both Indian and foreign companies to manufacture in India. Promoted the idea of minimum government, maximum governance. 3. Strategy to promote Make in India. To make this initiative successful, India needed a strong campaign. 1. Inspire confidence. Convince foreign investors, Indian businesses, and citizens that India is a great place for manufacturing. Example: encouraging companies like Apple, Samsung, and Tesla to set up factories in India. Provide information on 25 key sectors. Focused on industries like automobiles, textiles, defense, electronics, and railways. Explained investment opportunities and government support in these sectors. Use social media to spread awareness. A strong online presence was built to update global investors. A mobile-friendly website was launched for easy access to information. Important features of Make in India. Foreign direct investment, FDI, increased. Allowed 100% FDI in many sectors. Ease of doing business improved. Simplified laws and reduced paperwork. Skill India initiative linked, trained people to work in manufacturing. Infrastructure development, new roads, railways, and industrial parks. Short trick to remember, MI. M, manufacturing hub, India as a global leader. I, investment boost, FDI, business-friendly policies. Infrastructure growth, better roads, ports, and railways. Remember MI for quick recall in exams. Objectives of Make in India. The Make in India program was launched to boost manufacturing, jobs, and investment in India. Here are its key goals. 1. Increase investment. Attract more Indian and foreign companies to set up factories in India. Example: Apple, Samsung, and Tesla investing in Indian manufacturing plants. Make India a global manufacturing hub. Position India as a leader in manufacturing industries. Compete with China, USA, and Germany in production. 3. Focus on heavy industries and job creation. Encourage big industries, steel, cement, railways, automobiles. Generate millions of jobs for Indian workers. Protect intellectual property, IP, and skill development. Ensure businesses get legal protection for their innovations, patents, copyrights. Train workers with modern skills to meet global standards. 5. Build world-class infrastructure. Improve roads, railways, airports, and industrial zones to support factories. Example: dedicated freight corridors, DFC, for faster goods transport. 6. Promote innovation and ease of doing business. Support startups and new technologies, AI, robotics, automation. Simplify government rules and paperwork for businesses. Easy trick to remember, IMPA. I, investment growth. Manufacturing hub. P, public sector and job creation. A, advanced infrastructure. C, copyright and skill protection. Technology and innovation. Remember impact for quick recall in exams. Make in India program introduced several new features to make investment and business easier in India. Here are its key highlights. 1. Dedicated business portal. A website, makeinindia.com, was launched. helps businesses get information, updates, and support quickly. Example, a foreign company like Tesla can check all business rules on this website before setting up a plant in India. 2. Faster approvals and security clearances. Government launched the eBiz portal for all approvals in one place. States allowed self-certification to make business setup faster and easier. Example, a startup in India doesn't need to wait months for approvals. Easing business policies and laws. Many defense-related products were delicensed, so private companies can now manufacture them. Industrial license validity increased from 2 to 3 years for convenience. Example, companies like Boeing and Airbus can now manufacture aircraft parts in India without long delays. Smart visitor tracking. Government tracks website visitors based on their location, interests, and behavior. Helps businesses get customized support based on their needs. Example, a Japanese investor visiting the website gets information specific to Japanese companies investing in India. Invest India Cell, a special team set up to help foreign investors understand how to start businesses in India, acts as a first point of contact for investors. Example, if Google wants to set up a new office, they can contact Invest India Cell for guidance. Easy trick to remember. Single window online approvals. P, policies made easier. eBiz fast tracking. Ease for foreign investors. Remember speed for quick recall in exams. Significance of Make in India. The Make in India program is important for India's growth in several ways. Let's break it down into simple points. 1. Boosts economic growth. More manufacturing equals more exports, stronger economy. India will become a global hub for production with advanced technology. Example, India exports more cars and mobile phones, earning more foreign money. 2. More job opportunities. Expected to create 10 million jobs. Special training for rural and poor urban workers in skills like welding, painting, masonry. Certified training ensures quality workforce. Example, a village worker can learn welding and get a job in a car factory. Attracts more foreign investment, FDI. India welcomes foreign companies to invest in business. In 2014 alone, India received 20,000 million investment. Example, companies like Apple, Samsung, and Tesla now manufacture in India. 4. Increases investment in India. More factories and offices will be set up. A special Invest India unit will help businesses with approvals easily. Example, if Nike wants to open a shoe factory, Invest India helps with faster approvals. 5. Easier business environment. Government is improving the ease of doing business ranking. Policies are being made simpler and investor-friendly. Example, earlier a company took months to register, now it takes days. 6. Improves India's balance of payments. More exports, more foreign currency equals stronger economy. Helps India maintain good financial stability in global markets. Example, if India exports more electronics than it imports, it earns more foreign reserves. Easy trick to remember, JIB, jobs creation. I, investment in India. B, boosts economy. E, exports and balance of payments. Ease of business. B, big FDI inflows. Remember, for quick recall in exams. Central government initiatives under Make in India. The Make in India program is based on 4 key pillars to boost business and manufacturing in India. Let's break them down into simple terms. 1. New processes. Easier business setup. Government is making business-friendly policies. Encouraging foreign direct investment, FDI. Removing outdated rules to improve the business environment. Goal: improve India's ranking in World Bank's Ease of Doing Business Index. Example, if a foreign company like Tesla wants to build a factory, they will now get approvals faster and easier. 2. New infrastructure, better facilities for industries. Government is building smart cities and industrial zones, improving roads, electricity, and internet. Faster process for patents and intellectual property. Registrations. Focus on training workers for modern industries. Example, a new industrial corridor allows faster transport of goods between cities. 3 new sectors. Expanding industries. Identified 25 sectors to promote, like automobiles, textiles, electronics, etc. 100% FDI allowed in railways, construction, defense, and pharmaceuticals. Foreign pharma companies can now set up factories in India without restrictions. 4. New mindset. Government as a business partner. Government wants to be a facilitator, not just a regulator, encouraging private sector to work together with the government for economic growth. Example, instead of just making rules, the government will help businesses grow by simplifying processes. Easy trick to remember. PISM processes, better business rules. I, infrastructure, better transport. S, sectors, FDI in railways, defense, pharma. M, mindset, govt as a business partner. Remember, PISM for quick recall in exams. Got it. Here are the questions as they are. TAF 2.6, Exercise 2.6.1, Short Answer Type Questions. 1. Explain the nature of the Indian economy. 2. Highlight the importance of the Indian economy. 3. What are the problems of the Indian economy? 4. State the components of the economic environment. 5. What are the regulations of the new economic policy? 6. Discuss the concept of economic reforms. 7. Write a note on second-generation reforms. 8. Highlight the importance of economic policies. 9. Describe the features of Make in India. 10. Outline the significance of Make in India. 2.6.2 Long Answer Type Questions. 1. Discuss the concept of the Indian economy. Explain the core structure of the Indian economy. 2. What is the economic environment? Enumerate various economic factors affecting business. 3. Describe the concept of the new economic policy. State various major economic policies. 4. Enlist various first-generation reforms. 5. Discuss the impact of the new economic policy on business. 6. Elaborate on various claims and counterclaims in the new economic policy. 7. Explain the concept of Make in India. Discuss the impact of Make in India on globalization. Elaborate on various central government initiatives in the Make in India program.